Pokémon UNITE, a MOBA, the most popular type of multiplayer game in the recent decade, and Pokémon, the biggest media franchise in history. What could go wrong? Right now, the biggest problem Pokémon UNITE faces is the rank system, but it's probably for a reason you don't think about. Any player who actively plays Pokémon UNITE right now can tell you that Zacian is probably the strongest character ever released into the game. Now that wouldn't be terribly bad if there was ways to ensure you could counter or play against it. Unfortunately, not only does Zacian have the tools to deal with its counters, but characters like Comfey and Blissey amplify how strong Zacian is and make it borderline unstoppable. To make matters worse, Zacian is only available through an adventure through Zacian's Weld, a gacha minigame which you could either pay around 500 to 700 gems to complete, or wait around 9 days after its release. That's if you complete the daily missions every single day, which could be up to 9 games. So for about 9 days, that's if you play free games every day, free-to-play players were completely at the mercy of their Zacian overlords who could completely dictate a game, either sending you to victory or costing you a terrible defeat. So why is the rank system the issue, Sulu? Well, I'm glad you asked. Competitive Pokémon UNITE has moved to a drafting system, which, albeit its flaws, creates a much more pleasant experience with bans and no duplicate Pokémon, which is something that isn't seen in the current rank system, which is a blind selection. Just only a few days ago, the Asian Champion League tournament concluded with the Taiwanese first seed High Five taking first place. However, a more surprising stat emerged from the tournament. That is the ban rate of Zacian. Out of 32 games, Zacian was banned in every single game by the second pick team. But how does that affect the rank system? If the top players in all of Asia are in unanimous agreement that there is no strategy worth leaving Zacian unbanned for, what does that mean for the ranked games where players have no influence over the picks of the other team? Ranked does not have the drafting system mentioned for competitive, and while it opens accessibility to the gameplay is actually hurt a lot. You drop into a 10-minute game of Unite, and there is 2 blue dogs, one on each team, murdering every other character in the game, give or take a Comfey or Blissey, following them around, assisting them in destroying your hopes and dreams of winning the game without the character. So, is the answer a draft system? Yes and no. Hear me out. Yes, the draft does allow teams to ban a character they don't want to play against, but it also gives an advantage to the team who is picking first. So just as we mentioned above, the second pick team always bans Zacian, because if they didn't, Zacian would be left open for the first pick team to take it. So more often than not, the second pick team will have to ban the broken or unbalanced character, which is Zacian in this case, leaving a sour taste in the mouth for the second team, while the first team can still just take a really strong pick. Now, in competitive, this is normally fine because team cohesion is going to matter more than individual powerful picks, of course, not in the case of Zacian. But in the regular rank queues, this can create huge power disparities. Not only can you not double pick, which makes team comps way more important, but unlike other MOBAs, Unite only has 1 ban right now. This can cause some problems in the terms of leaving multiple strong characters open after being forced to ban a Zacian or something like it as the second pick. Overall, draft does make the game better, and it's a move I think will create a better Pokemon Unite experience. And that's the point of this video, because I love Pokemon Unite and I want as many people to enjoy the game as much as I do, but I know there are some things that need to be done to make this game better. So, let's go and take a little bit of time to go back in time to show us how we got to the place where Zacian's the overlord of Pokemon Unite. So, back in 2021 when Pokemon Unite was introduced, players flocked to try the new Pokemon MOBA. It had a peak viewership of 225,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch on release, and had a lot of hope. Then the community collectively decided the game was pay to win, with item enhancers costing large amounts of money and giving a statistical advantage over players, which eventually was seen as unfair. Videos by creators like Moist Critical, which criticized the system, claiming the items were the only reason they were being defeated and defeating players, caused outrage among fans of the game. Very soon, viewership and overall popularity for the game dropped. Being a strict Switch release at the time, with a strange ranking system that punished queuing solo and promoted 5-man premates, commonly referred to stacking, pushed a lot of the regular fans out of the game. Being one of the earliest pure Pokémon Unite creators on Twitch, I streamed a lot of solo queue and carrying viewers to Master Rank, which is the game's top ranking. Later, I would realize that as much as having 5 Master Ranks accounts was cool, it actually hurt the player base. Players getting into the game were being destroyed by a player with a large amount of experience, and the players on my team were gifted free wins into ranks so that they actually might not deserve. That doesn't even talk about the game's matchmaking, which at its peak was insanity. When I first reached Master, one of the first games I had was against a great pre-made team, and this was actually Team TTV. That was a solo queue match where my main character, Cinderace, was taken from me by a teammate, and anyone familiar to TTV can show you the strengths of that team. They completely obliterated us. It was a one-sided stomp. And this is a feeling that many players would lament about, even now, letting the matchmaking pair them against teams which were coordinated while they had no one to play with. And as players got better at these games, the games became more and more decisive, with a 5-stack team never losing. It seemed to be the theme of 2020 recurring into 2021. Games that were labeled to be huge successes, having all sorts of variety in game-breaking bugs or live service issues, and Pokémon Unite was no stranger to that. Between the Lucario E-Speed bug, which completely obliterated players, and the Cramorant invincibility bug, which allowed Cramorant to literally be invincible. Yes, invincible. Unite had a rough start. Timmy Studios, developer of Unite, weren't the fastest company in terms of dealing with these issues, however they did address them in a fast enough fashion. Lucario's bug was around for a span of 4 days because of the dreaded weekend that caused the developers to work overtime to fix it. And Cramorant's invincibility bug lasted a few days, but due to the nature of the issue, it was much harder to abuse than Lucario. Let's fast forward to today. We now have 50 characters with 3 more confirmed to be added into the game. Between every release came a Pokemon that is either game-breakingly powerful or horrendously underpowered. The underpowered Pokemon would usually receive a decent buff within the first few weeks, and the overpowered ones usually got a nerf within the first few weeks. Today, Zacian has been 2 weeks without a nerf, outside of a hotfix which fixed the bug which ignored 100% of defenses on the use of Sacred Sword. Yes, the character that has been tormenting the rank ladder for 2 weeks was bugged on release. So, between Rayquaza, which was the replacement for the Eos Island maps with Zapdos, the game is looking healthier than ever, despite all these overpowered characters running around and slaughtering players. The problem being that it actually only looks healthier in competitive. Regular players are still experiencing the problems that are outlined here every single game. Matchmaking still remains unclear how solo, duo, and trio are matching into 5-man premates. Characters are locked behind paywalls for a week to punish the free-to-play community, and with the increased cost in coins, make it even harder to access. The ranking system does not allow for the draft system, which would increase the competitiveness of the game and drastically improve the gameplay itself. So, as much as I see Zacian killing me in every ranked game, I know there is more than one big blue dog that is hurting Pokémon Unite. Don't despair, however. This means there is just as many chances for Pokémon Unite to get better with the love and attention to detail it deserves. The game has received outstanding success in terms of downloads on mobile and has an active competitive scene which is fueled by the Pokémon Company's attempt at driving esports and gaming. Confirmation for the Asian Champions League in 2024, which almost certainly means there will be another Pokémon Unite World Championship. And with that amount of eyeballs, the game just needs a tiny few changes to become what it could be. It seems in the case of Pokémon Unite, of Giant Blue Dog, ranked matchmaking, paywalls, can all cause problems, yet we hold out hope for a future where with love, care, and an amazing fan base, this game can once more take the spotlight as a MOBA which influences the genre using the iconic pocket monsters we've all come to know and love. If you loved the video or have something to say, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe for similar content in the future. I don't normally make quote-unquote pessimistic videos or content, but I thought it's a good point to touch on regarding the current state of play. I really enjoy putting out informative docu-series type content thing, that like what I did here, and I have some amazing videos in the pipeline that I really hope our community will enjoy. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And here's a hint. M-E-W, Mew.